Just 9 races remain in the regular season of our NASCAR 25 Career Mode Season 2 as we take on Dover Motor Speedway here today. Hello everybody and welcome back to our brand new episode. Hope you're all having a great day. This is going to be an exciting track to race on. Now Dover always in NASCAR 25 is a really fun track to tackle, and I am hopeful that we can continue a lot of this momentum we've had as of late. Of course, we had the road course swing last episode, and now we got a bit of a break from some road courses, but we came out of, Chicago and Sonoma with a couple of back-to-back top 10s to back up the 2 back-to-back wins that we had in just the episode before that. Just one race today, however, in this episode. You might be wondering, well, is there some significance because we're only doing one? That is correct, because today starts the in-season tournament bracket challenge, where 32 drivers, all top 32 in points, will go head-to-head for a now prize of $3 million to the winner. We will be highlighting some of these matchups all episode long, but basically how it goes is we actually top the board in practice is first place will go up against 32nd place in the standings, second will go against 31st, third will go against 30th, so on and so forth until we have, of course, just 16 brackets to start. And to highlight my matchup here in the bracket challenge for week 1 is myself. I'm going up against John Hunter Nemechek now, as we will take him on in that Legacy Motor Club number 42 as we come through into qualifying. You get 2 laps here to qualify in Dover now, and as we roll through 1 out of turn 2, felt pretty confident in the speed of this car. On the run into turn 3, down to the inside line, let it roll hard on the throttle as soon as possible, and off turn 4 after topping the boards in practice. This would be the best lap I would set, and we would only, however, end up down the order outside of the top 10 as Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin would make up your front row, with Wallace and Bowman rounding at the top 10 for myself, P17, but only, 2 3/4 tenths off of pole position. So if we can just find a little bit extra, we should be pretty good, and we are going to be making a wedge adjustment going into the race. We're not done though. We've got some O'Reilly Series racing. We're back behind the wheel of the Junior Motorsports number 9 this weekend. Not driving a Hendrick car this time around. We got behind the wheel of the Quaker State colors here, and actually in these closing about 10 laps or so here in Dover, we were in control of this race, trying to hold off a hard-charging Connor Zilisch and Eric Almirola as well, and just counting down the laps as we were slowly but surely edging away from the guys behind us, and we're looking pretty good at this point now. Of course, you're hoping for no caution, and things were looking pretty good. We had opened up a gap by over an entire second at this point. As we continue into the just final couple of laps now, and at this point coming up into these final 5 laps of racing, we had opened up a now 1.1 second, then a 1.3 second gap, coming to just 2 laps to go here in Dover. So at this point I knew just stay green and keep it clean, and we're going to go and get our second O'Reilly Series win in the last 3 races. Of course, we stole the win from Zilisch on the final lap in the Chicago Street Course, and today here in Dover, we are going to hold Zilisch and the rest of the field off as we roll through 3 and off turn 4. Obviously, it looks like it might be a little bit more difficult for the Cup Series race on Sunday, but nonetheless, we win the O'Reilly Series race here from Dover and get to do the celebration, burn it down, and of course, most importantly, get ready to go racing Sunday afternoon here from Dover Motor Speedway from a 17th starting position. We got the target colors on the car here today now as we're ready to roll, and we talked about the in-season tournament bracket challenge, and William Byron, your top driver in the point standings, he goes up against 32nd in points, Riley Herbst. And then as we get ready to go green now, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin lead the field to the green flag. We're underway here from the Auto Trader Echo Park 400 from Dover Motor Speedway now. And like I said, we'll highlight some more of the bracket challenges, brackets basically, as we continue throughout this race. Of course, you already saw a graphic for it at the start of the episode, but nonetheless, some key matchups, like some close ones, of course, because you'll have 15th in points will be going up against 16th in points, for example, like an Austin Cindric. He's going head-to-head with Alex Bowman. As well, Ryan Preece is going up against his boss of Brad Keselowski. Chastain versus Allmendinger. Like, these are going to be some tighter matchups. A Logano versus a Hocevar. Of course, some drivers have some easy days here, like the Byron versus Herbst, or a Bell versus Custer, a Briscoe versus Austin Dillon, Larson versus Ty Dillon. Ryan Blaney, he goes up against Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Pretty easy ones for them. And for us, I mean, we're going up against John Hunter Nemechek. I think that's going to be pretty straightforward as well, depending on how the rest of this race goes, of course. But right off the bat, I mean, making some decent forward movement. We got 30 laps here in stage one, but I could already tell, and I had made a wedge adjustment. I had made the car as loose as possible and had lowered the tire pressures as much as possible. And I kind of felt like, at this point, as we're making a pass on the 77 of Carson Hocevar, will clear him off turn 4, I felt like we weren't going to really have a great day, because I was kind of already flatlining by lap 9, coming to, approaching lap 10 of this race. And you can see I'm moving around, searching for some more speed, and we moved up here to the higher lane, and you can see I'm just going nowhere. And sure enough, it's like I've hit a wall, because now here comes Chris Buescher to my inside as we roll through one out of turn 2, and Buescher's going to be just about getting alongside me, but it wasn't going to be long here. Into turn 3, he's going to be back up the inside again. So at this point, I knew we're going to probably start falling back, and that's a concern, because I don't really think we can make this car any better than what it is, and we didn't even get into the top 10. So that is definitely a cause for concern for the remainder of this race. And now we're going to have to get a little bit creative when it comes to the strategic options that we have in this target number 15 Judy Motorsports team here this weekend, as Kyle Larson continues to lead the way. And the first thing I was thinking is we're starting to drop back. Hocevar is going to go through. We're going to split the stage in half. So as we get to lap 15, at the end of that 15th lap, we are going to come into the pits, get 4 tires and get some fuel, and then go for that final half of the stage. I feel like right now, if it stays green, that is, that's going to be our option now, is Keselowski, sure enough, is going to be able to get past me as he goes through, and you've got Cindric there just behind me, passing me. Chastain now passing me to the inside as we're coming to lap 15. So at the end of this lap, we are going to come in. We'll get 4 tires in fuel and try to undercut some of these guys. So let's remember, we're 18th when we're coming into the pits. If we can just finish this stage, and anything better than that, this will be a win. So we're going to come in, we're going to get 4 tires in fuel. We'll get down onto the apron, and obviously we will speed into the pit lane to make up for the AI stupidly fast pit stops. Now, I think we got trouble. I think we got a caution. We do. Caution's out. Someone's crashed down the front straightaway. This is going to be huge for us, assuming we can complete the pit stop before the timer runs out. It takes about 16 seconds. We stop at 18, and sure enough, our pit stop would complete before the timer runs out. Therefore, we got 4 tires. We can stay out and go all the way to the lead of this race, because the rest of the field had to pit. I can't say that's quite what I envisioned when coming into the pits there, but that was the best possible scenario. As we're back underway, but the question is now, do we have enough speed to kind of hold up here with these guys? Now, it seems like we're kind of, a little bit off the pace here compared to what we've been in the last 5, 6 plus races now, and we got just 11 laps to go on the inside here of the number 5 of Kyle Larson, who loses control, but immediately looking to regain control of this race here in Dover now, as we go right against the apron through turn 3 and off turn 4, and a little bit loose handling in the car on this restart now as we come to 10 laps to go in the stage. Larson back in front again. Look at the speed he can carry now, as I am just trying to send it to get alongside this number 5. Loose, we overcorrect. We wreck the 5 of Larson into the outside wall. Caution's going to fly. Multiple drivers involved, and I completely lost the rear, overcorrected into the quarter panel and wiped him right out. And now we've got pretty sizable damage, and we're gonna have to come into the pits and fix that up. And I just completely threw my race away potentially, and as well I ruined the day possibly for the number 5 team of Kyle Larson. I'm hoping they didn't really get a lot of damage out of that. as we're going to come in and fix this car. We might be able to get away with 2 seconds of damage, but I didn't really want to find out and risk it. So Blaney and Logano, your front row, and a very kind of, I would call that an uncharacteristic mistake as of late. I feel like we've been doing a really good job of not overstepping the car. It happens. We've done it many times, especially in the Cup Series. We've overstepped this thing, but I just got a snap out of the rear, and it wasn't like something that was not savable. It's just I overcorrected, obviously, back to the right, and unfortunately, it was basically as I got to the 5. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I drove really, really hard right there towards the exit of the corner, and that's kind of what caused everything to happen, and I just overreacted, and unfortunately, I wrecked the 5 of Kyle Larson. I feel really bad about that. And we'll see how the rest of the day goes for that 5 of Larson, and hopefully it turns into a okay day for one of those, big 3 drivers that we keep talking about that Larson is. Now, as we come through to the final couple of laps here now in stage 1, and we had recovered to a top 30 running position here, 3 wide with SVG as we come to the line. Ryan Blaney now in control, looking for the stage win to get himself 10 more points on the day. We, maybe don't want to do that. We were briefly 4 wide now. We back out of it just to basically be clear everywhere now is Ryan Blaney. Sure enough, he's going to come through to win this first and opening stage after a little bit of late stage chaos now. And, the gift of a lifetime that we got with that caution when we were in the pits turns into nothing due to my own mistake. So we end up 28th here in stage 1. So, of course, everyone's going to pit again, including myself. I mean, look at the right front. It's already down to 78%. So we'll come in, we'll get 4 tires one more time, get ready to go green. We got a 32-lap stage 2. If things are looking similar, which I don't see how they won't, kind of where we kind of hit a wall and fall off after about 10 laps, I think we will look at pitting again right at the midway point of this stage. So lap 17 is kind of the lap number I got circled right now for a potential pit stop here. As we're back underway, Bubba Wallace up there in P2. Kyle Larson, I think, has given up a little bit of track position. Not sure if that was for a repair, but clearly he's gone a little bit backwards there. You can see him just a little ways up there in front of us, like 12th place I think he's in right now, as we exit turn 2 alongside the 43 of Eric Jones. Eric Jones, of course, he's going in this bracket challenge head-to-head with Chase Elliott, so the odds of Jones going any further is pretty low, as we'll be 3 wide to the outside of Allmendinger, who crowns us into the outside wall, and around he goes off my front bumper. The caution's gonna fly again, and the 3rd caution for cause, and the 2nd time a result of myself, and we have picked up even more aero damage than last time, and I'm gonna have to pit again. And at the 16, I mean, just came up onto my left front, and I guess didn't see me, so it is what it is. I mean, I don't really feel bad about that one, more just frustration because now I'm back here again, and the 16 just kind of came over into the side of me and got himself wrecked. So I don't feel like I did anything wrong in that scenario, and we'll just continue on, and now we're dead last on lap 5 of 32 here in stage 2, and at this point I had kind of, internally hit the reset button. I'm like, okay, from this point on, I'm not gonna just, send it through the field. We're gonna be a little bit more patient, a little bit more methodical. I think the track, I mean, it's the monster for a reason here in Dover, Delaware, and I'm just gonna be a little bit more patient and just try to, respect the track, basically, I think is kind of the way we have to do it here at the Monster Mile. So I say respect the track as I go 4 wide for last, not necessarily what I was planning on doing here today, but I back out of it and make sure we don't force that issue. But we're going to work our way forward and, just like I said, take our time and really focus in on that kind of lap 17 area. Now, we could go a little bit further now because of the fact that we just had a caution, so we might not fall off as soon, but that lap is still there just, as a potential, if not lap 17, maybe we wait till like a 19 to a 20, but we're definitely going to pit in that window, and it's really going to just come down to when we start to hit that wall, and that wall had started to hit right here. I had only driven up to 33rd, just taking my time. And as we got to the 44 and the 88 of Shane Van Gisbergen and JJ Yaley right here, I had started to flatline. So I said, okay, lap 17 is the number. We're going to pit this lap. So we're going to come in, we're going to get tires and feel again. I had also raised my tire pressure on the right front after stage 1, but going back down to the 15 PSI here for this pit stop, and then we'll just do whatever we can as we continue. Out of turn 2 down this back straightaway, and getting ready to come into the pits here from 33rd. So if this stays green, which we don't know, it's been a bit of a caution fest here now, but if it stays green, we remember we were 33rd when we came in to do an undercut on the entire field. We come in, we get our 4 tires, of course, gonna have to wait the additional couple of seconds. 14, 15, 8, actually, a 15, 8, are you serious? How about that? We'll head back out onto the racetrack now with Ryan Blaney still out front in control, but it's not going to be long until you see everybody else coming into the pit lane. Like, yeah, we're coming in about the halfway point, but most drivers are going to do the same thing. They're going to come in within the next lap or two, so we're only going to get a couple of laps to cook. And here comes Cody Ware, actually, in that number 51 into the pits, so we're about to see a lot more come in. Here we go. Everybody's coming in at this point now as we're just waiting to get our lap back. The leader of Ryan Blaney had come into the pits, and Chase Elliott took over the lead. He comes into the pits. Now that leaves Denny Hamlin and only a few select others on the track that have not come into the pits yet. As we hit 10 laps to go now and just waiting to see where we cycle out. Now passing SVG and Yaley, and well, clearly we're going to be well ahead of 33rd as we're already 30th, and by the time this pit cycle had run its course, we're passing the 3 of Austin Dillon, the 8 of Kyle Busch, the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek, who we are up against right now in this first round of the Bracket In-Season Tournament Challenge. And as we eventually cycle through the entirety of this run, we went from 33rd to 19th with less than 10 laps to go in the stage. Here's one thing we do know though. Everybody in front of me and everybody behind me has fresher tires, and the guy I'm going up against, John Hunter Nemechek, has run me down and has gotten to my inside out of turn 2. We can't really fight him that hard because he's on significantly fresher rubber than myself here, so we'll do what we can, but I'm definitely not expecting to kind of, you know, keep him at bay for long. And sure enough, he would get alongside me eventually as Ryan Blaney continues to lead, but through goes the $42 Tree Toyota Camry for Legacy Motor Club. And as of right now, closing in on the end of stage 2, John Hunter Nemechek having a nice top 20 run, and currently has me eliminated from the in-season tournament. Here comes a pair of Richard Childress Chevrolets, Austin Dillon to my inside, and Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch might be the last guy that's going to pass me, and here he comes to my inside here, coming to 2 laps to go in the stage, and he will pass us now, but there is one more car that is coming up behind me, and that was Eric Jones. And as we came through to the final lap, unfortunately, Jones is going to get to me now as we're going to try and hold him off. Ryan Blaney already coming through to win stage number 2. He sweeps the first 2 stages as we'll head down into turn 3 now and run the inside. Not quite enough, but the 10th place crosses the line and keeps the 43 from passing me, so we end up 22nd here in the second stage. A really interesting race so far, and we're going to come in, take tires again, take fuel, get ready to go green. Obviously this is not the race we were hoping for here in Dover. It is what it is, and we're going to have 38 laps of racing here in stage 3. This is going to be an interesting one now, but we'll get our 4 tires and no position shuffle in the pits. Now we should be able to easily get in front of this 42. We're going to get aggressive on this restart and make something happen. And as we go back green, the 3rd and final stage is officially underway here from Dover, Delaware. Now as Kyle Busch to my inside, you've got 38 laps to go. Now hypothetically speaking, of course, if it goes green to the end, you want to pit with, you know, if we keep up the trend of kind of splitting the stage in half, we'll pit, you know, in about 19 laps or so, and we'll come in and run another 19 to get to the end of this stage. But that's kind of borderline on the pit window, but I think you can go about 20 to 21 laps if you really stretch it on fuel. So yeah, we can run 19 and we can get away with that now, as we got to be aggressive on this restart. I know the emphasis, you know, in stage 2 was to kind of calm down and take our time. We're well beyond taking our time now. While I'm watching, you know, my guy that I'm going up against here, the 42 of John Hunter, is working his way through traffic. We cannot let him get far in front of me because we know this car kind of checks up as the run goes on, as we are now battling with the likes of Denny Hamlin. We're 3 wide briefly there with Denny Hamlin here, as Hamlin's kind of in a free fall, and it's insane to think that Denny Hamlin has yet to win a race this season in the career mode. Now as we're beating and banging there with the 8 of Kyle Busch, who would eventually get in front of me and actually put the 11 into the wall, as now we're going to go to the inside of Denny Hamlin. Crash in front, Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney's around. Caution is out here in Dover. Everybody's going to stay out. Ryan Blaney crashes from the lead of the race, handing the lead to the 5 of Kyle Larson, and that was a big hit for the 12. You do have to wonder if he's going to be a little bit down on pace as we get ready to go back racing. He actually pitted. So Blaney pits, he goes to the back, and we'll get ready to go back green. We're not in the fuel window yet, which is why nobody else pitted. Ross Chastain, by the way, is currently up in second position, a bubble driver in the chase. Having a good run with 30 laps to go here from Dover now, but a lot of racing, a pit stop still on the way, at least maybe under green, maybe under caution. Time will tell now as we're alongside the progressive number 11 of Denny Hamlin, who of course has not shied away from retirement talks at the end of 2027. Of course, at the end of next season, we do wonder, of course, what his future looks like. Will he stay, longer with Joe Gibbs, or will he actually hang up the helmet now? As we are now stuck right here in 18th place to the inside of the Cheddars. Number 8 of Kyle Busch rolling right up to the back, and right there sideways on the exit of turn 2 as I tried to pull up to the back of the 42. Oh my goodness, now that was close. That was exactly what caused me to wreck Kyle Larson earlier in the race, but that time I was a little bit more prepared and ready and knew how to deal with that one. As now we were 3 wide in the middle on the exit of turn 2, lap 73, with John Hunter and Christopher Bell, who's also not having that great of a race here. Bell, who's made a lot of gains in the last few races on William Byron in terms of the championship lead, as we continue to race hard with the 20, but you can see now we've hit the flat line and we're dropping off, and unfortunately for me, John Hunter Nemechek is continuing to have one of the best runs he's had all season long, of course, when he's going up against me in the in-season tournament, and I'm just not able to run him down, and we continue to battle with the likes of, a Cindric, a McDowell as well. Nemechek's actually dropping back at this point here as we're approaching 20 laps to go, and we are going to get ready to come in now and split this stage again as Kyle Larson continues to lead the way. Now, of course, we want to kind of wait till about that 19 lap to go mark, but like I said, I'm kind of really falling off at this point here. So lap 80 will be coming to 20 laps to go, and now here comes Eric Jones to my inside as we exit turn 2. The 2's going for a spin, and oh my goodness, that was the 20, and the 43 as well caught a piece of it. Around goes Eric Jones, and I think what happened there off of turn 2 when the 20 was going spinning, I thought it was a 2. I think the 43 to my inside reacted and hit me in the door and then spun around. So we have 2 cars spin, and that brings everybody into the pits. And my crew chief recommends right side tires only. I don't have enough. I don't have enough to beat that 42 of John Hunter. So I decide to give up 14 positions to take 4 tires in an attempt to make sure we beat that 42 of John Hunter Nemechek. So as we go back green, we're going to be deep down the running order, but I think this is a good move because obviously we haven't had the pace that we've needed today. We got 17 laps to go. We weren't even racing for a top 10. That's how off we've been today. And now we've got something that I feel like can guarantee us. I won't say guarantee us. Maybe that's the wrong word. I don't want to breathe it into existence, but this is going to help us significantly in the fight with the 42 because John Hunter's had some serious paces. We'll go to the outside of the 99 of Connor Zilisch now and pull up to the back of his Trackhouse teammate there of Shane Van Gisbergen, and we'll go all the way to the outside around that number 88 and get alongside Herbst. We are absolutely cooking in these first laps of this restart. Kyle Larson in control over the 19 of Briscoe, who's still seeking his first win of 2026 now, and John Hunter Nemechek. We would run him down and just rip right around the outside of him, and now we pass the 42, and for the first time in what's felt like half the race, we are now leading our bracket matchup here of John Hunter, and I feel like we should be able to hold on, and we have driven into the top 20, got super aggressive on this restart, and it worked out pretty well. And I mean, we could still see a yellow maybe before this race comes to an end, and I think that would really help us as we're right to the back of the 3 of Austin Dillon now, and we continue to absolutely fly around this outside here and head down this front straightaway. We'll clear the 3 and the 47 and 1, go right there, get ourselves into the now almost top 15 if we can get this 17 fast enough forward RFK driver of Chris Buescher just like this with the momentum. Now into the top 15 we go.
One outside.
And we continue to charge forward. We have run down the number 1 Moose Chevrolet of Ross Chastain. Kyle Larson's driving away, however, from the 19 of Briscoe and the 45 of Tyler Reddick, who's currently up in P3. Reddick, of course, is going head-to-head with Josh Berry. He's easily going to move on in this first round of this tournament now, as we'll clear the one at Chastain, move ourselves into 14th. But we're not done here yet. Chase Elliott ripping the top, 10 laps to go. We're going to pull alongside him on the exit of turn 2. Can't quite clear him, but we should be able to clear him right here as he pulls dead even with me into turn 3. But through 3 and 4, we will clear that Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet now, and into 13th we go, bringing Chris Buescher with us, who's starting to put on a lot of pressure. And in these closing laps now, bringing the fight to the outside of the 2 of Austin Cindric. And even with the 4 fresh tire advantage compared to everybody else on 2 tires, I'm starting to flatline again. So in these closing 8 laps, this is pretty well all I've got. And I know we're about to start dropping back, and hoping for a yellow is basically all you can do at this point now, as we're right on that door, trying to pinch that discount tire Ford Mustang down as hard as I can to make him, lift and not allow him to get on the throttle and drive away. And sure enough, it does allow me to clear him. Do we have enough to run down anybody else? It doesn't look like it, because before coming to 3 to go, we had dropped off the back of the 11, the 22, the 24 as well. How about Carson Hocevar having a top 10 run? A great day for a bubble driver now with 3 laps to go in this race. Now Cindric, Elliott both looking to my inside as we sail it off into turn 1. But it's not going to be a top 10 day, but we've at least done what we've needed to do to be in front of the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek to get ourselves moving forward into, the next bracket at this point now, as it will drop in behind both Elliott and Cindric, try to hold off Chastain with a lap and a half to go. Chastain's gotten in front of that 17 of Chris Buescher. Kyle Larson, ever since Ryan Blaney self-ranked from the lead, Larson's been back in control, and he takes the final lap. The white flag is out there, nearly had some contact with the 2. It's going to be a fight here with Chastain as we head down into turn 1. Kyle Larson looking for win number 5 on the season, and the big 3 continues on. It's been Bell, it's been Byron, it's been Larson, time and time again, winning races this season as Buescher gets to my inside through 3. Larson wins in Dover, and Buescher catches me off guard. He'll pass us. We drop down to 15th, and that's where we'll end up as we cross the start-finish line to take the checkered flag. Not the day we were looking for, but we at least move on in the in-season tournament. And, of course, a win for Kyle Larson means a win for the pit crew members on that 5 team, including the gas man of Wyatt and the team strategist Moonlight Rainbow Dash gets their first win with the 5 team, as well as you see the rest of your finishing order. We got 2 things to look at: the tournament and the final point standings. Ryan Blaney ends up 34th. That's a driver that gets eliminated in the bracket tournament, surprisingly. But looking at the overall points first, William Byron's got a 16-point gap on Christopher Bell for the point lead. Kyle Larson, of course, still not even in the top 3 in the points. He's 1 point behind Chase Briscoe. But the bubble, Alex Bowman actually gets back in front of Austin Cindric and beats him in the tournament here today. So Bowman is now 18 points above the cut line. Cindric drops back. Keselowski 34 back tied with Carson Hocevar. Hocevar had a really good day, top 10, but unfortunately loses points because Alex Bowman had an even better day on top of that. You see the rest of the points. Taking a look now at the in-season tournament now, and some surprises that don't move on. Ryan Blaney loses to Stenhouse. Cindric and Bowman, we knew that was going to be close. It ends up going to Bowman, and Hocevar eliminates Joey Logano as we can focus in now on the Brickyard 400 from the iconic Indianapolis Motor Speedway next episode. I will see you guys then for round 2 of the in-season tournament, and I hope we can move forward one more time. As I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.
I'm stuck in my head, need an exit.